أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نويت الأربعين نويت الاعتكاف نويت الخلوة نويت العزلة نويت الرياضة نويت السلوك لله تعالى العظيم في هذا المسجد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
For those who are here and for those who are seeing us around the world, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all of us with the blessings of Ramadan, which is the first 10 days is rahmah. We are asking Allah to bless us with that rahmah. And that rahmah is the light of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that Allah has dressed him with. And the ocean of rahmah, Allah has it. Because He is the creator of rahmah. So we are trying to explain as much as possible, because it's a question everywhere about the knowledge, ilm al-tasawwuf. And many people knows about it, knows it's a name, but they don't know the contents and why it is called like that. Because too many reasons. And we try to shed some light on that. As we said in the previous session, and I urge you to keep following one session after one session, because they are related to each other. So we don't need to repeat. So we begin from where we ended in the previous session. Many people might ask why it was not spread, the knowledge of tasawwuf or ilm al-tasawwuf or calling for tasawwuf. Because when you want to explain something or to bring something out, you have to call people to it. Why people were not being called to tasawwuf when Islam came? And the answer is so simple that it was not needed to be called. Because at that time, Sahaba were close to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they were always following his footsteps in the three different parts of Islam, the religion. In the first part, they were following him in the 5 pillars of Islam. That's the structure of the base of Islam, is the foundation of Islam, which is the 5 pillars. Then they were following the footsteps of Prophet ﷺ when he was teaching them Aqidah, that Tawheed. So they were following directly the messenger. So they didn't need anyone to come and tell them what they have to do. It's the Prophet telling them what they have to do. And the Prophet ﷺ is the one that calling for that. He was teaching them Iman, the 2nd pillar of Islam, 2nd part of the hadith of Sayyidina Umar, when Jibreel came to Prophet ﷺ asking him about Islam, Iman and Ihsan. So they were following that by following Prophet ﷺ, like behind him they were praying. So they knew everything. Then when they completed that, Prophet ﷺ took them to Maqam al-Ihsan, which many of us knows it, but by name. So maqam al-ihsan is, as Prophet said, I have been sent to perfect your manners. Maqam al-ihsan is the perfection of the manners after you build your foundation. So the foundation is the 5 pillars of Islam. The building is the state of Iman. The decoration inside the building to make it nice is maqam al-ihsan. So easy. At that time, it was not necessary to call it any name because it was a follow-up on what Prophet was teaching them. And they were competing with each other which one is going to do better of ibadah. So they were following Prophet ﷺ in his nawafil, voluntary worshipness. So they didn't need to know to call that knowledge a knowledge, something different. As it improves and moves forward, the Arabs at that time, they were not mixing the language with other than Arabs. And only Arabs, which I am speaking about Arabs that in the time of Prophet ﷺ and before time of Prophet and after time of Prophet, because he said, خير القرون قرني هذا فالذي يلي فالذي يلي. The best of centuries is this century that I am in, he said, and the one after and the one after. They didn't need at that time to learn any kind of grammar. They used to, even for poetry, even a child used to make poetry with no mistakes of grammar. Today, you cannot speak about Islam or read Quran perfectly or read Hadith perfectly and understand without grammar. Because one of these vowels, tashkil, one of these dhamma, fatha, kasra, is if it is put in the same letter, in the same word, in a different place, on a letter in the word, not correct place, it gives another meaning, which might be wrong meaning. So they used to learn in the time of Prophet and after, by the 3 centuries or before, they didn't need to do that because not too many non-Muslims at that time or non-Arabs were coming into Islam. But many different nationalities and races were coming into Islam, and one different dialect was coming into Islam. The language began to mix up and change. So that's why at that time they need to correct their grammar, and those who are teachers of or the scholars of the language, they begin to correct them by putting a new system called ilm al-nahu, the knowledge of nahu, of grammar, how to pronounce and how to read to read the word in a correct way. Before they didn't need to use it. It's by fitra, innocence. It comes out. So ilm al-nahu is a knowledge that has been arranged, fixed, and they put they put even the points were not on Quran, the dots that they put over the letters. They never put dhamma or fatha or kasra. If you see the old Qurans that has been preserved till today, you don't see any dhamma or fatha or kasra or shadda or hamza or nothing. But they were reading correctly. Later, they were not able to read it because too many different people coming with different languages, different dialects, so it became a mixed up. So they call it ilm al-nahu. Then they found that there is we need now to also to put a curriculum. Like today you say I am putting a curriculum for students to study in Islam in a school or a university. Why you have to put curriculum? Because you want to fix the knowledge according to the capacity of the people, beginning with elementary, smaller, less knowledge, up, until you become PhD. So it begins to call ilm al-fiqh. It's not. So similarly, the good manners, the good behaviors, the psychology of the personality of the person changes from one to another. Everyone has a different psychology, a different behavior, a different way of thinking. He might think that is good, that thing is good. The other might think that's good, that thing is not good, is bad. So how they have to meet? Someone has to come and put a structure for that knowledge, which is makarimul akhlaq, maqamul ihsan. And that's why what happened as we are beginning to come far away from the time of Prophet ﷺ, and people entering into the garden of Islam from different races, every scholar in that different race which can understand the knowledge of Islam well, they begin to write. They begin to write and to build up the different kind of knowledges for people to understand. And that's why came the birth of first grammar, ilm al-nahu, in the beginning of the time of Prophet ﷺ, in the middle time of the Prophet, in order to correct the spelling and the language when they speak with Prophet ﷺ. Then came ilm al-fiqh, knowledge of Sharia. Then ilm al-tawheed, knowledge of oneness, how to believe, how you will have a faith. Then ulum al-hadith, knowledge of the hadith of Prophet ﷺ, the sayings of Prophet. Then tafsir of the Holy Quran, ulum al-tafsir. Then usul al-din, the roots of Islam, the basics, how to perfect them. Then mustalah al-hadith, different kind of hadith, and different way of understanding the hadith, and who mentioned that hadith, and from where it came. All this needs someone that he has the ability and capacity of understanding them and authenticize them, has to study them, and that's why became ilm al-hadith one of the most difficult chain of who are the people that you can take hadith from them. And that's why you came above more than 50 different categories and types of hadith. Then ulum al-fara'id, the obligations, and how you correct your obligations. Then inheritance. And inheritance today is so difficult. If he is a judge that he did not study for 4 years or 8 years the knowledge of inheritance, he cannot decide how much everyone can get after his father or mother dies. So after the first century, less and less these knowledges begin to means less and less more to say more mistakes begin to happen. So it was a necessity in that time to fix that, especially when the more the language and the learning of how to behave was so important to perfect your manners. So they begin to understand that as we are away from time of Prophet, less people become less Muslims in their behaviors. There is no more a guide that they look at him and they follow. Sahaba, they were not necessary, not for them that kind of knowledge or calling it al-mutasawwuf, because they were following the footsteps of Prophet ﷺ in his behaviors. So when more people coming in, at that time, they needed that. They put all this kind of knowledges. So it is said, who was the first one to build Assas, laid the foundation for al-tasawwuf, مش the al-tazkiyat al-nafs. That word, yes, was not used in the time of Prophet or in the first century, because the people they didn't need to call it anything, because they were following it without, on their innocence, they were following Prophet ﷺ with it. But in reality, who is the one that has laid the foundation for it? It is said by one of the most big scholars, Muhammad Siddiq al-Ghamari, that the one that has laid the foundation of these ways to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to Prophet in the good manners, the behavior, is Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And that's why it was called under Maqam al-Ihsan. And in Maqam al-Ihsan, which it says, أن تعبد الله كأنك تراه, to worship Allah as if you are seeing Him. If you are not seeing Him, He is seeing you. So, أن تعبد الله كأنك تراه فإن لم تكن تراه فإنه يراك. He is seeing us. When He is seeing us, you need to perfect your manners. So then you find ready material for you, easy, being done to you. You don't need to look for it and research it and search for it. It's already there that you can understand it immediately. It is mentioned by Shaykh al-Islam Zakaria al-Ansari rahimahullah ta'ala. He said, التصوف علم تعرف به أحوال تزكية النفوس. When they put the language and the structure of تزكية النفس, مقام الإحسان, which they call it tasawwuf, we will say why they call it tasawwuf later. Might be not in this session, but later. Why it was called tasawwuf. Why not something else? Why not left as tazkiyat al-nafs? Because tazkiyat al-nafs is a very wide, general terminologies and general word that under it comes lot of issues. So they call it al-mutasawwif because they want to begin step by step. Like today you go to study psychology, to get after finish high school, you have to take the basics. It's not, if you want to make major in psychology, in good manners and bad manners, to learn them and to treat people, they give you basics. And then until you get your bachelor, you are taking a little bit higher than basics. When you go to master, then you are getting higher and higher until your PhD. So here also, they call it tasawwuf because they regulate what you need to learn from ilm al-tasawwuf, which is the psychology of human beings. What kind of spiritual approach you need to approach people slowly in order to build for them a hierarchy in themselves, means a pyramid in themselves that has a structure and goes all the way to the peak. The peak is the أن تعبد الله كأنك تراه. The peak of that is to worship Allah as if you are seeing Him. If you are not seeing Him, He is seeing you. So Shaykh al-Islam Zakaria al-Ansari, what he said, he died 929 Hijri, which is he wants to explain how it, on the Risala al-Qushayriya, he was trying to explain on al-Qushayri what he wrote. He said that tasawwuf is a knowledge, ilm, knowledge by itself. And this is one of the big scholars of hadith and fiqh and tafsir. He said knowledge is, tasawwuf is a knowledge. Through it, you will learn about tazkiyatun nafs, because tazkiyatun nafs is the general title. So in order to reach the general title, it has many issues in it. To take what you need is through, step by step, through ilm al-tasawwuf, the knowledge of tasawwuf, which is through it you will know what necessary you have to learn in order to purify yourself. And he said, وَتَصْفِيَةُ الْأَخْلَاقِ, and to purify the manners, your manners. Al-akhlaq is manners. Either you have good akhlaq or you have bad akhlaq. People are in between, and there are people in between. One time good akhlaq, one time bad akhlaq. There are some, they are all the ways good akhlaq. There are some all the way bad akhlaq. So you have three here. Either good, which impossible for us to be good always. There are some people to be good, but like awliyaullah, as it is mentioned in many places, and Allah mentioned them in Holy Quran. ألا إن أولياء الله لا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. Verily, Allah have friends, sincere, pious servants, nothing to fear, nothing to be sad of, because Allah gave them that knowledge. So good akhlaq, bad akhlaq are the evil ones that create all the time fitna and confusions and backbiting and speaking bad against people. They think themselves they are above everyone, and in reality Prophet ﷺ said لا تباغضوا ولا تجسسوا ولا تحسسوا ولا تنابزوا. Don't get angry, don't get jealous, don't try to backbite, don't make rumor. Allah said in Holy Quran, يا أيها الذين آمنوا اجتنبوا كثيرا من الظن إن بعض الظن إثم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اجتنبوا كثيرا من الظن إن بعض الظن إثم ولا تجسسوا ولا يغتب بعضكم بعضا أيحب أحدكم أن يأكل لحم أخيه ميتا فكرهتموه واتقوا الله إن الله تواب رحيم.
This, the makarim al-akhlaq, يا أيها الذين آمنوا اجتنبوا كثيرا من الظن إن بعض الظن إثم. Allah is saying that, oh believers, avoid bad thoughts about other people. Avoid to speak about other people. Zan, someone comes to you and say to you, this one said about you bad. Check it. Allah is teaching us in Holy Quran. إن بعض الظن إثم ولا تجسسوا. And don't spy on each other. That's from makarim al-akhlaq. That's al-mutasawwuf. That's in psychology. Go and to a psychologist and ask. He will tell you, don't listen without checking. They bring the two people, if let's say have a husband and wife. He brings them together. Counsel them. You want to listen to this one or listen to that one? So ilm al-akhlaq, ilm al-tasawwuf, you have to listen to yourself. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. So check. So they put for you in ilm al-tasawwuf a structure that most of psychology today they are taking from Islamic knowledge, from ilm al-tasawwuf, knowledge of tasawwuf. The good manners and the bad manners. They are learning what kind of a bad manner. I gave an example yesterday of if there is a stone, it's sunnah to take it out, put it on the side. Some people will push it with their feet, kick it. But and it's good, took it out of the road, but no adab, no respect. You are doing something with no respect. You have to take it by hand, put it there, because you don't want anyone to be harmed with it. So there is a struggle between the good and the evil within you. So ilm al-tasawwuf came to tell you, no, that struggle you have to drop it down by tabayyun, by clarify the matter before you take an action. Listen. That's why Sayyidina Ali said, don't, when you are sitting with some people, they are speaking, listen. Don't talk. Don't try to talk, because as soon as you open your mouth, your desires, your ego begin to speak. You fall into mistakes. Until you reach the highest level of understanding, then you don't make mistake. Why doctors, they put them in training for 3 years or 5 years? They are already doctors. They did internship 3 years. They have to go more on, they have to do fellowship. 2 years or 3 years, another 3. Why? To have more experience, not to make mistake on the patient. So ilm al-tasawwuf doesn't want you to make mistake on patients, on yourself, on the others. So ilm al-akhlaq is, al-akhlaq might be, we said, as good or bad. So ilm al-tasawwuf, it will purify that, tasfiyah. It's like someone putting a sift and sifting and take the best down or the best up, whatever the hole is. So ilm al-akhlaq, ilm al-tasawwuf is a sift for your characters, your manners. And in order to build your outside, and you build your inside. It's not only building the outside. If there is no battery in a watch, you have the 2 needles, you cannot know the time. You need what is inside and what is outside. You need the soul, you need the body. Tasawwuf before was body and soul, both together. Now it's a body without a soul. No, it's a form now. Form without a soul. We are all forms. We have no good manners, good behaviors. Only we want to kill each other. That will take us to Nail al-Sa'ada, to reach the heavenly happiness. And look, I give an example. Sorry to change books. It is said that ascetics, one of these big scholars on tasawwuf, he said, الزهاد ملوك الآخرة. The ascetics are the kings of Akhirah. You want to be king? Be ascetic. Drop the dunya from your eyes. And Ibrahim al-Adham, one of the famous ascetics in Islam, said to someone, do you like to be a wali? أتحب أن تكون وليا? Do you like to be a wali? Do you like? Everyone think himself is a wali. He doesn't need to love to be a wali. He is a wali. So why he has to ask this question then if everyone is a wali? Like someone scholar very well known here in America, people go to his conferences. He said every Muslim is a wali. So he knows more than Ibrahim than Adam. He's asking, he's showing that wali is different from Muslim, is a higher level in Islam or a higher level in Iman. So not every mu'min is a wali, but every wali is a mu'min. Not every Muslim is a wali, but every wali is a Muslim. So Ibrahim al-Adham asking someone, do you like to be a wali? Means, do you like to learn how to purify yourself? Al-Muttasawwuf. He was one of the biggest Sufi scholars. Who doesn't like to be a wali? The man said, yes, of course. I want that. Tell me how. So I'm asking ourselves how to be a wali. What you have to do to be a wali. Say you are the
to be ascetic.
to be zahid.
Zahid.
Zahid from what? Zahid from what? Zahid from eating good food? Zahid from what? You have to be Zahid, he said. He said, La targhab, you must not desire. Not only Zahid. Zahid, you be Zahid. You do voluntary prayers, you do worshipness, you do whatever you want. That's part of it. But when you go higher in level, he said, you have to drop your desires. He said, oh, okay, that's good. I drop my desires from dunya. He said, no. You have to drop your desires from dunya and akhirah. That was shocked, like you are shocked now. And might be the viewers are shocked. How from akhirah? He said, of course. You have to drop your desires because many people, they worship in order, they say that in order for be saved in akhirah. It's not, which is correct, 100%, which is a must. But you want to go higher level, you have to drop the desire for akhirah and desire for dunya. As Rabi al-Adawiyya said, "Oh Allah, I am not worshipping you to put me in paradise." Then as if there is an exchange, a trade. There is no trade between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I am not worshipping you to save me from hellfire. So first, I am not worshipping you to put me in paradise. I have no desires for paradise. And if you want to, I am not worshipping you. If you want to put me in hellfire, it's your desire, not my desire. I'm not worshipping you not to put me in hellfire. But I am worshipping you because I love you. If I am not going to have that love, I'm lost. These are dunya and akhirah, nothing to me. So what he said here, he said to him, Ibrahim al-Adham, you have to empty, or you have to drop your desires from dunya and akhirah. وَفَرِّغْ نَفْسَكَ لِلَّهِ, and prepare only yourself, only for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why we mentioned the story of Sayyidina Yusuf yesterday. Why Allah made him to, he didn't, the brothers, Allah inspired one of them in order not to kill him, to put him in the well, because he has something to give example for his father, Sayyidina Yaqub. And what was it? Don't have two in your hearts. فَرِّغْ نَفْسَكَ لِلَّهِ, empty your heart except from Allah. Don't put many other things inside there. وَأَقْبِلْ بِوَجْهِكَ عَلَيْهِ, and direct your face toward him, not this one, not that one. Not this one bay'ah, that's one maqam, that one bay'ah. It's not with bay'ah you will be reaching these levels. It's with sincerity. With sincerity bring you. No one can take in your hand if you are not going to. Some people, they make bay'ah but they don't pray. I know many. So what's the benefit? Huh? No benefit. Some take bay'ah and they backbite. Too many of that. In every time they sit together, they backbite people. And how you are going to give them bay'ah, taking their hands? A bay'ah has to be a perfect shape. Like Maulana Shaykh Nazim, may Allah bless his soul. وَأَقْبِلْ بِوَجْهِكَ عَلَيْهِ, direct your face toward him, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No right, no left. There is nothing left and right. Straightforward. That's why Allah said to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Holy Quran, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يُبَايِعُونَكَ إِنَّمَا يُبَايِعُونَ اللَّهِ. Those who are giving you bay'ah, it's going to Allah directly. Why they want to Prophet? To purify it. Huh? To purify your bay'ah. Why we go to Maulana Shaykh Nazim? Because he is a perfect wali that can petition us in front of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and can help us to purify by his guidance our bay'ah. You cannot. I know from history and from Grand Sheikh, may Allah bless his soul, that Grand Sheikh never gave bay'ah to anyone because no one is up to the level of bay'ah except two he gave. In history, they were not giving bay'ah before you finish your study in Islamic studies for 4 years to understand when you give bay'ah, Prophet ﷺ will coming later. There are many different kinds of bay'ah. It depends what you are giving and who is receiving. The one that you are taking his hands, what kind of a level he has. It's not easy. So he said to him, go directly, أقبل بوجهك إلى الله. Direct your face toward Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And to direct your face, you need the ayah of Holy Quran. وَلَوْ أَنَّهُمْ إِذْ ظَلَمُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ جَاءُوكَ فَاسْتَغْفَرُوا اللَّهِ. Bay'ah is when you are oppressed, you oppressed yourself by doing sins and mistakes. You come to Prophet to ask forgiveness in front of him. Then Allah accept your forgiveness. To forgive, Allah will forgive you. So bay'ah is forgiveness. It's not giving and still you are as you before. It's a joke. Today bay'ah is, sorry to say it, but is not the level that should be. When you come, وَأَقْبِلْ بِوَجْهِكَ عَلَيْهِ, come with your face, directing your face toward thinking, and all your heart, your body, your cells, your brain, everything going toward Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What will happen? لِيَقْبِلْ عَلَيْكَ وَيُوَالِيكَ. He will come to you and support you. And if they say, how Allah comes to you? Hadith of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. من تقرب إلي باعا تقربت إليه من تقرب إلي شبرا تقربت إليه باعا. Who comes to me one hand, I come to him one arm. And who comes to me ماشيا جئته مهرولا. And who comes to me walking, I come to him running. So that's Ibn al-Adham is advising that person. Show me who can take bay'ah today when they have behind it different programs, or what you say, the different agendas. Your agenda is one. Anyone who wants to take. Anyone doesn't want to take, you cannot force people. Tell them you'll be thrown out. You cannot. Then everyone will be thrown out because they don't know anything from Islamic Sharia. And he said, "Izhad fi dunya yuhibbuka Allah." Drop dunya from your eyes, Allah loves you. You want Allah loves? Drop dunya from your eyes. وَازْهَدْ فِي مَا بَيْنَ أَيْدِي النَّاسِ يُحِبُّكَ النَّاسِ. And drop whatever in the hands of people. Don't be jealous. No desires on what people's in their hands, what they have in their hands. Then people will love you. So if you want really to take bay'ah from someone, he has to have these characteristics. He has to, his desire only for Allah. He comes to him directly, and Allah comes to him supporting him. And drop dunya from your eyes, Allah will love you. And drop desires, your desires from whatever in the hands of other people, people will love you. وعن أبا يزيد, and I will finish with this. You see this is nothing to do with fiqh and sharia. Sharia is sharia, you have to implement it. But this bad characteristics is the knowledge of tasawwuf, that they call it tasawwuf because for certain reason, describe it later. But it is the tazkiyat al-nafs and tasfiyat al-akhlaq. Tasfiyah, sifting the bad manners out, you throw them out by sifting. Tasfiyah, we say tasfiyah. From tasfiyah means cleaning is coming tasawwuf. So, but we'll discuss it later. I mentioned this. Abu Yazid al-Bastami said, "Inna lillahi ibadan." Listen, Subhanallah. No one can do that except awliyaullah. You didn't see at the end of Maulana Shaykh's life, for 1 year, he was always, when he speak, crying. Huh? No. Always crying. There is nothing to cry. Say one word, he cries. He say the word, he cries after it. Abu Yazid al-Bastami said, "Inna lillahi ibadan لو حجبهم في الجنة من رؤيته لاستغاثوا من الجنة." Allahu Akbar. Allah has servants that if Allah veiled himself from them in paradise, they will seek that we don't want paradise, we want to be out of it. If we cannot see you there. لاستغاثوا من الجنة كما يستغيث أهل النار من النار. As the people of fire in the hellfire, how they are seeking refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, asking Him, Ya Rabbi, takes us away from hellfire. People of Jannah, if Allah veiled Himself from to be seen to them, they will ask same thing to go out of paradise. Where are these people? I want to give bay'ah someone, but tell me where I can find these people. I found it with Maulana Shaykh Nazim. I found it with Grand Shaykh. May Allah bless their souls. I gave, and it's going. And we are not people who are arrogant, say, oh, we don't give bay'ah. We give bay'ah anything. It depends what kind of bay'ah. In my heart, might be someone say, okay, people are put, like someone in jama'ah, praying, and he came, someone came, and saw the jama'ah praying, he has no wudu, and in that time it was too much work to get wudu. You have to go behind the tree, behind somewhere to get wudu. Came and saw them, he entered without wudu. Allah will accept, but you repeat it. So someone might put his hand, but in his intention he is not accepting. So what's the benefit? Why are they telling them, oh, when you don't do that, then you'll be out? It's not their decision. Who is out, who is not out? It's Allah's decision. Bay'ah is for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said to Prophet, you are giving bay'ah to me, you are taking bay'ah from Sahaba, it's to me. So you cannot say bay'ah to this person. Allah immediately said, Ya Rasulullah, Ya Muhammad, inna alladhina yubayi'unaka innama yubayi'un Allah. Finish. Those who give you bay'ah to Allah. Cannot say give bay'ah to this one. Never Maulana said to us, give bay'ah to me. Not to me, to him. So these are part of ilm tasawwuf, and we will continue inshallah next time. ومن الله التوفيق بحرمة الفاتحة. Keep. Why we are, sometimes they say, why you are using books. Okay. When you use books, I heard it from Grand Shaykh many times. He said, open your notebook, whatever you learn from me, put it, read, and speak. Then more comes. Don't be arrogant, sit on the chair and say, I know everything coming to my heart and I'm speaking. This is Sharia. You make one mistake, it's big. So you have to you make sure that what you are saying is being registered by many scholars up to Sahaba, in order not to fall into a mistake. And you can get references to what you want to say, because it's too wide. Islam is too wide. Millions of books, millions of knowledges that Prophet gave to Sahaba. So it's condensed. So you need to come to a condensed book that the subject you are speaking about is so much condensed in a manuscript that you can focus more on explaining, and it will give better result between people. When they see you reading from a book, they say, oh, that's good. When a professor in the class reads from a book, everyone say, that's the professor. With no books, oh, he's making it up. We are not making it up. It's very these books are Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah books. ومن الله التوفيق وحرمة الفاتحة. ربنا الله